Welcome, you're listening to Passages. I'm here with Tim and Jason. My name is Drew, son of Andy, and I am glad to be here tonight with you guys. This is a highlight of my week.
Absolutely.
Get together with you guys and talk about whatever's on our minds.
And we're actually getting to do it before 9 o'clock tonight, so
Yes.
that's
Right.
a nice thing.
There's a new level of energy in the room this evening.
I'm fresh as a daisy.
Oh, yeah.
But this is definitely a highlight of the week, but it can't be your top highlight. You got to go to the old alma mater.
Yeah, let me just start with that.
Yeah.
Talk
Tell us about your trip.
So I got to go to Fried-Hardeman. I was invited to speak in chapel, which was a lot of fun. Well, it was nerve-wracking, to be honest with you, but so I was going to share this with you guys. And you've probably heard the story that when I was a student at Fried-Hardeman, I was struck by a car while walking.
I think
Yeah,
I have
I
heard
do.
this
Yeah.
story.
So it's, I'm waiting for that memory to fade, but it just keeps raising its ugly head every time I go on campus. Like one of my old professors, or in this case, this year, it was the former president of the university. All he says to me is, "Hi, Drew. I still remember when you got hit by that car." and I
It's quite a
actually
legacy
said
to
him,
leave, really.
I actually said to him, "I've done a few other things since then, because it's just getting old, And so he had said that to me right before I went up, and he mentioned it to the guy that introduced me. So I turned in a bio ahead of time that had nothing to do with being struck by a car.
No, but
But
there
they
was a
had to put it
modification.
in
They
there.
went off script, didn't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah, it was Drew preaches at the Asheville Road Church of Christ. He was educated here at Fried-Hardeman, blah, 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 blah. Mentioned my book just like for a split second. Didn't really emphasize where you could buy the book.
nice.
Amazon.com,
Burdens.
RiddleCreekPublishing.com. And Burdens by Drew Kaiser.
It is Christmas season. Make great stocking stuffers.
Yes, thank you, Jason. Just real quick pass over on that. And another thing I was just talking to Dr. Sewell about, Drew was hit by a car while he was here and survived.
Take it away, Drew.
Take it away, Drew. And I had like a serious talk planned, about transformation through suffering. And I had to get past the getting struck by a car introduction. So I just kind of stammered through it. I said, well, I was going to say thank you for that introduction, but then you brought up the car incident in front of Paul Gray, so
But it
I'm
does
gonna
sound
withdraw
like it perhaps has created some suffering, so you should have just jumped right into your topic.
If I'd been
Here we are,
thinking quickly.
25 years post-accident, right?
Yeah.
20 years post-accident?
Yeah, now that highway was Highway 100 that runs to Memphis, and at the time, the highway, there was no bypass. Since then, they put a bypass in, and I like to think that I'm responsible for that multi-million-dollar bypass that goes around Henderson, and I've saved countless lives
There you go.
by
I
my
would think so.
sacrifice.
I would think so.
It was one of the most embarrassing moments of my
lives
college
forsake.
career. It pitched me up. The car stopped as it was hitting me. So it was kind of like a pitching wedge on a golf ball. It just kind of pitched me up on the hood, and I rolled onto the windshield. And then I had to do the awkward scoot off the hood. And by this point, there were a lot of people looking at me, including David Lipe, who was on the other side of the crosswalk. That didn't help. He ran over to the driver who struck me, opened his door, and was screaming at him. He told me later he almost lost his job because of me. I don't know what he was saying, but it might have had something to do with his fears of being terminated from teaching at the university. But I went straight for my dorm room, and people were following. Drew, you're okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I just wanted to get out of there.
Were you bleeding? Was anything broken?
No, I was
mean, you were
fine.
Just fine.
I just went for a ride up on the hood of that car.
A hood ornament, basically.
Yeah. So it's seared into the memory of everyone that I was at school with at that time. That's my legacy. It was a great trip, though. My daughter Ava got a tour, and they were really nice showing her around. She's interested in nursing. They have a great nursing program there. They were telling me it's the top program in the state of Tennessee, and I thought that was just, a generalization that people make. Hey, we got a great program, but they were showing me that statistically, it was ranked number 1 over Vanderbilt in the state of Tennessee last year. The guy running the nursing program is just top notch, and he's very demanding. It's a tough program, but it's a good one.
So they bought something that's away from campus. Was that to be like the nursing school or something? Do I remember that? Or?
Well, they bought a campus in Dixon. I'm not sure if they're going to keep that.
Okay.
Because you don't have to go to Dixon
to
get your nursing degree.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
We saw a lot of new buildings and things they're doing over there. Had lunch with the president.
That's great.
In the NB
of the
Hardeman
university.
House of the university.
Yeah.
And you also got to stay in a really cool house the night before.
Yeah,
right?
they got this great guest house. Put us up in. It was really nice.
Oh, the pictures you shared from that house, it really looked really, really cool. Like the dark paneled walls in that reading room.
Oh, Jason,
awesome.
It was right up your alley.
Oh, it looked
a lot of wood in that building.
Well, and the ceiling, like for the upstairs, was that a loft?
We were in
was
the
it
attic.
A real so that's
the AC
awesome.
wasn't working. That's my one complaint.
Yeah.
I didn't make a big deal about it, but it was 80 degrees
It's
up
time
there.
to tap into the endowment fund and get out a little bit of money for the AC.
I tell you what, if that had been me, there would have been a window unit in the morning.
Well, the windows were open all night, but it cooled off a little bit after we opened the windows.
So we got a contact at the Layton house from my niece Emma, who goes to Freed Hardman. And Emma asked Millie, said, "Do you know Drew Kaiser?" And she's like, "Yeah, he's our preacher." And she said, "Well, he did chapel, and she said he did really good." And she said, "Well, did you go speak to him? Ava was there, and she said he was sort of swarmed afterwards."
Well,
so,
obviously.
yeah.
Well, here's
the guy survived being hit by a car.
Yeah, they.
Oh wait, no.
It
I'm
wasn't
sure
about
it was
my
about
speech.
your
They wanted
talk.
to meet the guy that got hit
I'm sure
by a
it was
car.
all about your talk.
One of my friends that was in school there at the same time as me, and he now teaches at Union, which is kind of a rival school. Union is in Jackson, Tennessee. My friend Ben, he came to surprise me, and he was there in the audience here in chapel, and I saw him down on the floor, and Ben was just down there with me, and he wound up scoring the invitation to go eat lunch with the president as well. So Ben was just going to pop in, pop out. He wound up going to the Hardeman house with President Shannon.
That's great.
It was
really
but
cool.
we had a good time. I was glad I was able to go and grateful for the invitation. So big year for Jason's son and my daughter, senior year.
Wow.
Trying to figure out where to go to college.
Oh, and we had the senior pep rally today. This could be possibly the last football game.
But it won't
tomorrow
be.
night. We're hoping not. I hope we get another game or 2 or 3 or 4. But, wow, I got a little misty. I noticed that the room started getting a little bit blurry during the senior video. Oh, that's a tough one.
I'm handling it better than I thought I would when she was 4. Because, they're getting old. It's more natural for them to be graduating when they're 4. Now, the music is what gets you. The slideshow with the music. I don't know if I can get through that.
It was a long slideshow with the music today, and
you had to endure one of those.
Oh, it was. Yeah,
and that's the first of many.
I just kind of looked down at the floor a lot and hope nobody noticed.
Did they play the Taylor Swift "Don't You Ever Grow Up" song?
Oh, there was at least I wouldn't know the song, but there was at least a Taylor Swift song. It was a lot of sappy songs.
Of course there was.
Lots of sappy songs. Broke my heart a little bit.
Yeah.
But can't believe it's happening.
No.
Woo, let's change subjects before we all start
please,
crying.
somebody
in here.
take over.
So I'm going to step up just so that hopefully I can beat Tim to a topic since we always have the same articles. Y'all know my love for magic.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm aware of this.
All right, so I have seen Penn and Teller, Matt King, Shin Lin. I watch
What about
magic
Chris
TV
Angel?
shows. I have seen Chris Angel.
Have you really?
I have. I saw him in Vegas years and years ago. I love magic. I watch Penn and Teller Fool Us on the CW regularly. I think it's the only show on the CW I have ever watched. I love magic. But I like magic where they are light about it and they let you know, hey, I'm just tricking you. Your brain is deceiving you. I'm doing a trick. This isn't like sorcery or some mystic thing. I like the ones that do the sleight of hand, card tricks, all this kind of stuff. My love for magic also makes me not like some big magician. So I saw this article the other day and I heard an interview about it. David Copperfield, probably the biggest name in magic, right?
Made the Statue of Liberty disappear.
Well, he's upping it a notch. Guys, have you seen, what's the movie with Dr. Gru and the Minions? What's the name of the movie?
Despicable Me?
Despicable Me. You know the goal in Despicable Me was to steal the moon.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. David Copperfield, I'm reading this title to you. David Copperfield plans to make the moon disappear in an epic stunt 30 years in the making.
Well, I was wondering where this guy's been.
It's about to happen. He is taking his powers of illusion to the stars, says this article. And in an interview with Today, the magician announced the plans for his latest stunt. I'm going to make the moon disappear. Which I want to just say...
Sounds like Dr. Evil.
Yeah. In a way, God kind of makes it disappear about every 28 days. Because it goes to a new moon, you can't see it. I mean, it's there, but you can't see it. So he says it's taken 30 years of work to develop it. There's multiple methods to make it work. And I'm collaborating with Save the Children, an amazing organization to show the world the difference one person can make. So at least he's doing it with a good intention. Hopefully his proceeds or whatever is going to save the children. He continued and said, if one person can make the moon disappear from the sky, imagine how together we can make poverty and hunger and danger disappear for our children on Earth. This is coming to a planet near you in February of 2024, and rehearsals are already underway. Then he says, rehearsals are going well. In fact, I've been testing them the past few months, and people have reported seeing strange things in the sky at night all around the country. So if anybody at home sees anything weird up in the sky, please let me know by tagging me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, he added.
Are you serious, Clark? I just went straight to Christmas Vacation.
So
where Clark says there have been sightings of Santa's sleigh.
I remember the Statue of Liberty disappearing. Do y'all remember seeing that? It was huge. It was on TV.
Yeah, we watched that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
That was a different era, though.
It was, and let me tell you how that trick was done.
That's when we had 3 channels.
Camera, rotate, ta-da!
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking...
His stunts are a little...
They're a little over
the
top
like
sometimes. But he's going to make the moon disappear. And I see some problems with this. Number one, he's admitting, using an illusion, he's going to make the moon disappear. So we all know he's not really making the moon disappear, because if he does, the tides are messed up, gravity's messed up. It's just going to be a mess, right? I mean, we got all kind of problems.
Who wants that?
And if,
right?
if everybody,
I like the moon.
And if everybody's out there just watching it, right, and they're not moving in some way, how do you do that?
Like in February 2024, if I walk out on my back deck and I look up to the sky and that moon's still up there shining, I'm calling he failed. And that's, I like the guys that can make cards pop out and disappear and coins disappear. But the moon, I think we've overshot here. I think we're taking it a
right.
bit far.
Yeah, if you can walk outside and it's gone,
I will be impressed. And
otherwise, it's like Spielberg making Elliot ride his bicycle across the full moon.
Exactly.
I mean, what's the difference?
So we're talking something with camera tricks, angles.
Not to mention, he's a bit flamboyant for my taste.
Well, you have to have the magic movements, and
he's got the oversized black silk shirt on, buttoned down a little too far,
with a fan blowing on him, so that his perfectly coiffed hair is blowing in the wind. I have to wonder though, what do the magicians, the guys that perform, say at Vegas, New York, and tables at every
David Blaine will go down the street.
Yeah,
Blaine will go to Africa, like in a village, and do stuff.
I just wonder what these guys that have put years and years into their craft think when the most popular guy, probably the most popular guy in magic, says, I'm going to make the moon disappear. I just think it's weird, and it bothers me a little bit.
It's just too much, huh?
It's too much.
Yeah. I'll buy that.
But I don't know. That's just it just blows my mind.
Yeah. I have to tell you an interesting David Copperfield story. So there was a lady that worked on my team who was married to a magician. And I won't
What
get
kind
all,
of life is that?
I won't get all the details
Awesome.
of this right. But she was his assistant. So before her job with AT&T, she was his assistant.
She'd been sawn asunder
many times, made to disappear, whole 9 yards. And so they were friends with David Copperfield. And I want to say that maybe there was like some type of collaborative. I want to say it was called something like the Hollywood Magic Company or something like that. That they worked together, and she would tell us about like going to David Copperfield's home or apartment or whatever, and she would work with him. I guess as he was practicing tricks and things, like as his assistant or whatever. So, anyhow, that's my touch with, my
there's only 2 degrees from you to David Copperfield
or something.
That's pretty cool.
So anyhow, yeah, but I'm with
But
you.
I'm telling you, in February 2024,
Yeah.
I'll be impressed if I walk out there in the moon when he says, "Kazam!" It's gone.
What if it's time for a new? Now, is a new moon? You can't see it. It's covered.
It's dark. It's just dark, so you can't really see it.
We might need to look at the phases of the moon calendar and see where we stand on February 2nd.
I don't know if he has done this in the age of Twitter, so he better just brace himself.
I'm telling you, the reviews and the comments are going to be rough.
Yeah.
He already gets a lot of ill treatment. Or he's received that in the past. I'm telling you, he's out of his prime.
Well, and obviously dyeing his hair, because I'm looking
He's
at
still
his
got
picture,
dark hair.
There's no gray.
And so you mentioned he's been out of the limelight for a while. Has he really been working on this one thing for 30 years?
Well, I tell you, the magic is that he disappeared for about 30 years.
There's a trick.
Now there was
The magic is that he reappeared.
yeah.
Maybe after this he'll disappear again. Who knows?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's my little magic
All right,
rant.
good one. I like it. Is it my turn? All right.
Your turn.
Okay. I shared this one with you last time that this was the one that I had in the in the bullpen warming up, and so I'm going to it tonight. Man claims he's targeted by the same bird after multiple attacks on his way home from work. Alejandro Rios, 25, says he suffers daily attacks by a magpie in Australia, and he has the video to prove it. A man claims that a territorial bird has singled him out after attacking him day after day on his route home from work. Alejandro Rios, 25, lives in Brisbane, Australia, and bikes home from his kitchen catering job every day. Rios says he was first pecked on the head by a dive-bombing magpie bird on September 20th, and he thought it was an odd occurrence. The first time I felt something knock at my head, he said. I was a bit worried, thought a piece of fruit had fallen off a tree, or someone had hit me. Rios said that he soon realized he had become the bird's target after he was attacked multiple times on the same route home. By the end, it was funny because I knew it was coming, he said to SNWS after recognizing he was hit more than once. The kitchen worker, who's wearing a helmet in the video that captured the attack, said he makes sure that the bird doesn't hit his eyes. Rios also added zip ties to his helmet to ensure the bird won't hurt his head in any capacity. Magpies are believed to remember faces, something Rios said he recalled when realizing what type of bird was going after him. Magpies will attack things they see as a threat. They recall faces and tend to keep memories for long periods of time, according to the Government of South Australia Department for Environment and Water. It goes on, but in a write-up called Stay Safe from Swooping Magpies, the same site said, magpies often become more aggressive as the chicks become older, but swooping usually stops once the young have left the nest. It added, a magpie's defensive behavior can range from a non-contact swoop or without beak snapping, to pecking, dive bombing, and sometimes front-on attacks from the ground. Rio said he originally thought the bird didn't like him because he was riding a bike, but soon realized that couldn't be true as the other people biked past him and were not attacked.
They just didn't like him.
Regardless, Rio says he considers the bird a friend even if the animal really doesn't like him.
What a nice guy. Are magpies one of the species that can talk?
They're a bigger bird than I thought. While you were reading, I was Googling, of course, because we have these nice little computers in our... There's a lot of videos and images of magpies attacking. Look,
Magpies
that's not
attack.
a small bird. That's
Wow.
like getting, that's like a crow.
I mean, it's the
That's like
size
a-
of its head
It's
at
like
least,
a big
right?
crow
You
getting
know?
after you, really.
Yeah.
And I just think it's hilarious that it appears to have recognized him.
He's not the only person riding through here.
Right.
It just
said that
doesn't like
It
him.
said there were other bikes coming through.
Yeah, that's weird.
And so it sees him and then it remembers him.
Yeah. Some of these, like, I think the smartest bird is a crow, is what I've heard. And they have the ability to remember things. As you were describing with the magpie, like recognize faces, which apparently is hard for a bird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and
So maybe the helmet was familiar or something,
I actually found an image, too, of somebody that's got zip ties on their helmet. I don't know if this is your guy, but off the top like spikes. I guess
That's common
I
Australian
guess so.
defense mechanism.
Yeah.
You know who? This is nightmare fodder for my brother Mackenzie. He's
Oh.
terrified of birds.
One of my favorite memories was him like fleeing from a small bird in his attic, maybe 18 years ago.
We were at a pond one day, and he said he was just looking up into the sky. Everybody else was having a good time, and he said, "Is that bird coming at us?" And he just kept staring at it, and then he flinched. And I said, "That bird has got to be 80 feet above your head." Oh, that's good.
All right, are we ready for round 2?
Round 2. Let's do it. I want to tell you all about. Well, did you guys catch the Republican debate last night?
I did my best to avoid it.
Yeah, that was smart. That was smart. I saw highlights. I don't watch the debate. I do enjoy analysis.
I did see a video of a kind of a reverse attack.
Yeah,
things
there
were
was
turned
a
around.
few shots fired. It's the whole thing is absurd because the front runner by a mile doesn't even show up.
No.
And I
Well,
don't
he's
know
too
what they
busy
think
in
they're
court.
doing. Yeah, he probably, I mean, who knows if he's going to even be able to legally be on the ballot. So
Right.
the Republicans are shooting themselves in the foot again. But the next debate is coming to Alabama, guys.
I heard it's going to be at
Wow.
the University of Alabama, right?
University of Alabama, moderated, going to have 3 moderators. The only one named was Megyn Kelly. It's a big name. She and Trump had a...
No relation to Machine Gun Kelly.
No,
None.
thankfully not. She's a different person, but she's a pretty big name person to come to
Yeah,
University of Alabama.
That is. Just
And,
the debate coming to the university.
But that was the
is
only one
huge.
who's been named. So
Well, I have a theory. Jason mentioned the CW a minute ago.
Mm.
This debate, this big news here is going to be aired on the CW,
Oh, wow.
Channel 21, and on a channel I've never heard of before, News Nation,
yeah.
Never
which
heard of it.
I just learned from this article used to be WGN.
So News Nation's not Newsmax, right?
No, that's a different one.
Newsmax is to the right of Fox News.
Newsmax is some angry conservative in his
Yeah,
basement or something.
but News Nation's different. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I've
News
never heard
Nation.
of News Nation.
New channel. So, but you mentioned CW.
Yeah.
So it named Megyn Kelly and 2 other moderators. I'm just wondering, what are the chances that the other moderators are the Dubba Dubba twins?
I'm gonna
Thinking
leave
this
that
may
alone.
be it.
I think it's going to be Nick Saban and
Hugh Freeze.
they
No,
wouldn't
it'd
let
be
him on
Alabama,
campus.
right?
There's no way.
he's got a restraining order over
Yeah.
there.
No, they wouldn't let him on campus.
Yeah.
Who else could it
Who's
be?
your other guy?
Judge Roy Moore.
Oh, he's another one that probably is not allowed
You
within
can hear him coming into
10 feet of
the facility.
I'd like to submit this name for your consideration, Governor Meemaw.
Oh,
Yes. Oh, she would be wonderful.
I would watch it to watch her.
Yeah.
Now you children need to just be quiet. Meemaw's
Yeah.
talking.
Last night, the Ramaswamy guy, he said that they should have, for moderators, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, and he named a third one.
I would tune
He
in
told
to
the
see it.
he told the moderators, you shouldn't be there. It should be these people.
So what if they went along the theme of like, so Megyn Kelly now has no major network affiliation, right? She does
She's
her
a
own thing.
podcast, like
Podcast
us.
or
She's
whatever.
one of us.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Fellow podcaster.
she's not us, but she's
No, she's actually
similar.
getting.
Quite-
I think
I
she's
mean-
actually getting paid for hers.
Yeah.
no. I mean, it's not this quality, but she does some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, something simple.
So what would be maybe the possibility Tucker Carlson?
Oh, that was the other guy that Ramaswamy
Oh,
named.
did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did see
I
a
think
clip.
the possibility would be very low because I don't think he would stoop to do that. You know, he interviewed Trump during
During a debate, right?
the first
Yeah.
debate.
Yeah.
Another question I have connected to the CW is if they go long and they go into 10 o'clock, will they preempt it with the Andy Griffith show? Because, I mean, Andy Griffith, 10 o'clock,
I need my 10
10:30.
o'clock Andy Griffith
I would have to
rerun.
imagine that they would cut off the debate for Andy.
Yeah.
It'd be like,
Yeah.
we're not going to show
They
you the
just
rest
dub.
of that.
They just dub the whistle over the top.
Yeah.
We will.
And they're like, "We're sorry, we're going to
there'd
have
be-
to go to an
There'd be the
episode of-
scroll across the bottom that says the remainder of the debate will be shown from 2 to 2:10 a.m. this morning.
Tune into YouTube to see the rest of the debate.
Listen, when Julie and I first got married, we had a tiny little TV with rabbit ears, and it was appointment television, 10 o'clock, 10:30, Andy Griffith, Dubba Twins in the commercial time.
Absolutely.
And then, 11 o'clock, turn TV off and go to bed.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure that the Dubba Twins are the whole CW network. I think they might have been more like Channel 21
Local.
back in the day.
Maybe so.
But I like your thought there. I mean, I think that's an outstanding
Yeah.
It is interesting.
choice.
What are
for-
those girls doing now? You know, I was going over this with Julie tonight, and she's like,
Dubba
she was talking about them like they were still 17 years old, and I said, I think they're our age.
Yeah.
Dubba.
I know what they're not going to be doing: moderating the debate.
And
And that is a job I don't think any of us would really want to do.
You know, as much as I would, I mean, as much as I, didn't watch it last night, like you, I'll pick up a highlight or two of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd sort of like to go in there and see it. I mean, to be
Yeah.
in the building for it, for a presidential debate sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I just, Trump should go to the debate.
Yeah.
I mean, I get his argument that he doesn't need to, and it's sad to me that he doesn't need to. I mean, he's got some questions to answer.
But how un-Trump-like is it to pass up on debate? I mean, the dude loves to argue.
Listen, he's got
stir.
some tough questions to answer. And
Yeah,
I don't
and-
think he wants to be
right.
up there with.
He also likes to win, right? So he knows that if I stay away from this,
It's going to do
I can
nothing but
win.
help
and
his
maybe,
rivals.
just maybe, whoever is helping him with PR is saying the best thing you can do is not talk.
You think he's
Shut
listening
your
to a
yapper.
PR
Well,
person?
no, but wishful thinking.
He never, his secret sauce is not listening to the PR.
No.
What if his handler every day shakes him down, grabs a phone, hits it with a hammer, and is like, "Don't get another one."
he just snaps his finger and somebody brings him another one. Yeah.
Me.
All right. So I
right.
guess
You're up.
all right. So this one goes back a little bit to Halloween. This story is from November 5th, so technically it's afterwards. But I don't know if you saw this or not. An anthropologist made a surprising discovery at a thrift store in Florida and their Halloween section Saturday. So whenever the Saturday was before November 5th. The North Fort Myers shoppers spotted a skull and recognized it as a human skull. According to the Lee County Sheriff's Office, responding detectives also determined that the skull belonged to a human, and the store owner said that the skull had been in a storage unit that was purchased years ago. And the Lee County Sheriff's Office is working with the local medical examiner to run further tests on the skull, and they don't believe the case is suspicious in nature.
What?
So imagine walking into a thrift store. You're in the Halloween section, and you're like, hey, this skull has a pink dot on it. And you go look at the little board that's by the door where you go in, and a pink dot means 70% off. So the skull is for sale for $2.70. You're going to take 70% off of that, and you're going to walk out of there with the skull, only to find out that this is not a plastic skull. This is not
It used
a
to
prop.
be someone's face.
This is someone's head.
Yeah. Can I rewind for just a second?
Let's back that thing up, Tim.
If we could... I believe you...
Pardon.
I believe you just...
Rewinding is what you used to have to do with
Yeah, you
cassettes
gotta tell
and
our listeners
VHS
what that means.
tapes.
I believe you just said they don't believe it was suspicious.
Now, officials, I'm reading
How
directly
can it
from the
not be
site.
suspicious if there's a human skull in a thrift store?
Officials do not believe the case is suspicious in nature, especially who keeps. So I understand
There's
a
a 10-inch
storage
ice
unit.
pick going
Listen,
through the eyeball.
it's suspicious if it washed up out of the ground. I mean,
Yeah.
It is, and
It's not
even
where
more-
it's supposed to be.
It's even more suspicious if you say, "Oh, don't worry about it. I found it in a storage shed that I bought at an auction."
Right.
yeah. Oh, okay.
That makes
in that
perfect
case,
sense.
let's move on.
I can't imagine.
That-
Here we go. Under Florida law, no person shall knowingly offer to purchase or sell any human organ or tissues for valuable consideration.
That's a good law.
I think it's a pretty
Yeah.
good
I
rule.
like that law. Mm-hmm. Let's get one of those in Alabama.
But it took. I wonder how many people had walked through the store, picked it up, gazed at it,
This
maybe
thing
What's the
feels
only-
real.
took a selfie with it, made it go. I'm moving
Right.
its bottom jaw,
Having
like
no
it's
idea
laughing.
that they're-
Yeah. And it's a human skull. That's just weird. That's a little creepy.
Yeah.
It's really creepy. Are they thinking it was like part of anatomy class or like a cadaver or something?
Most of the anatomy classes are using. So I'm sure some of them have real skulls, but I know the skeletons I learned on were basically plastic casts of skeletons.
This reminds. I gotta go back to Fried Hardeman for a minute. So we toured their practice clinic, and listen, horror movie material here. The dummies they use for practicing in the clinics are freakish. They're all trached. They're in gowns, full body. I don't know what all's going on under the gown.
I'm glad you
But they
didn't
can-
look.
They can practice everything on these dummies. They can do IVs on them and everything. And they got this grin on their face. Eyes wide open,
Oh, dude.
grin on their face. Why do you put a grin on it? Why do you put a face on it? I mean,
Let
let's-
me
why-
assure you that I will not be practicing in there by myself at night.
One of these
listen-
days, I need to bring up my anatomy lab story from
All right.
when I was at
Yeah.
UAB, because we had human cadavers we worked
yes,
with.
I don't know how you do it.
It was weird. I need to just tell the day one story one of these days. Not tonight. It's not. It's,
I do remember the Dr. Pepper can on the
oh
head.
yeah, I could
right?
sit the
So,
Dr Pepper can just about anywhere while working.
Oh man,
Nice.
That's all I got.
All
I
right.
just thought it was
That's
a
a
weird
great-
story.
that's good.
That's an unusual
All right.
story right
you know
there.
that you guys, I've already told you that in conjunction with this podcast that I'm a sucker for a list article.
Oh, you
Yeah,
are
oh,
that.
I like the list.
So, this article is 10 common misconceptions that people think are true. So I'd really like, I just want to do this as an exercise of, did you think these were true or not? So, first one is that fortune cookies are not Chinese. I won't really go into the details here. It says, that it was brought to the U.S. by the Japanese. They're rarely found in China.
That's
and
that's a confusion that occurs in a lot of things. Unfortunately for Asian friends across the
Right.
globe.
Says they are often seen as a symbol of American cuisine. So Not authentic at all.
But they're Japanese in origin.
That's right.
But you know where you get them when you're in China? At a restaurant. It's just a regular old restaurant.
That's right.
I get it. Yeah,
you know what
not,
they
not
call
a
it?
Chinese
Food.
restaurant.
They just call it food. It's a restaurant.
Number 2, the Buddha was not fat.
This is true.
Right? You knew this one?
Yes.
Right? So, in fact, Buddha, I'm going to try to abbreviate these, right? Buddha was an ascetic who prayed under a lotus tree, eating almost nothing to achieve enlightenment.
It was said that he was so emaciated they could see his spine coming through his stomach, like from the front.
Okay.
That's the legend. So it's kind of
Yeah.
interesting to see the big fat Buddhas.
So for all those friends that refer to me as Buddha-like, you're wrong.
They're saying you need to eat
That's when
something.
you say, thank you, I need to eat. I agree.
Yeah.
They're
Where's the
saying you
buff-
need a sandwich.
Where's the buffet?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star was not composed by Mozart. Did you think it was?
Never heard
that.
it. Never.
It's been widely whispered that the classic children's song was composed by the Austrian musician when he was 5 years old. Actually, it originated from a French folk song, which Mozart composed variations of when he was 25 and 26, which must have been where that came from. So, this one I had never heard before. Golf does not stand for a misogynistic slogan. There's a widespread misconception that golf stands for gentlemen only, ladies forbidden. However, there's no evidence for this, and golf as a word existed in the Middle Scots period as a standalone word.
Next, you're going to tell me Ford doesn't stand for found on road dead.
First on race day is what I always heard.
I'm just shaking. my
All
head.
right, here we go. Number 5, the Vikings did not wear horns on their helmets.
Okay, now you're getting into stuff I have heard
You
before.
heard this? Okay.
Well, or seen in movie, heard.
An iconic image for identifying the invaders. There's no historical evidence that it's accurate. In fact, the horns on helmets for Vikings come from an opera scene by Richard Wagner of Der Ring des Nibelungen.
I'm sorry,
I said
Tim.
that exactly right. Yeah.
There is a problem with this article because there
Yes.
is the historical evidence of Hagar the Horrible.
That is true. I mean, that's been around for some time.
Well-documented Viking material right there.
Duly noted. All right, number 6. The Great Wall of China is not the only human-made object visible from space. This says none of the Apollo astronauts reported seeing any specific human-made object from the moon. Even Earth-orbiting astronauts can barely see it. That's still
They
space.
just confirmed
Right.
they confirmed
barely see it. Okay.
they can barely see it.
Now I'm-
It's false that they could see it.
You know what section they,
just
don't
barely
see?
see it.
The section those construction workers knocked
Right.
down.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
full circle.
They're very good. Refer back to episode 2. I'm not sure it was episode 2.
It may have been
A past
episode 1.
Go
that we
back and
canned.
listen to all of the previous episodes for that reference to the Great Wall of China. Number 7, Napoleon was not short. The little corporal's height was recorded in French feet. 5 feet 2 inches, which is 5 feet 7
this is
inches
interesting.
in English feet.
I'm just going to still say 5'7", pretty short for a dude.
This was,
Yeah.
in fact, slightly taller than the average Frenchman at the time. Okay.
Well, hey, have y'all seen
Enchanté.
the ads for the Napoleon movie coming out?
Yeah,
That
that's got-
Joaquin Phoenix is
yeah,
playing
yeah.
Napoleon.
Joaquin.
He's a good pick for that guy.
I think, hey, and
bet
he
it's
will
gonna
get
be
into character.
scary
He's
Oh,
going to
good.
be
we
excellent.
all know that.
Yeah.
Reference the David Letterman interview.
Oh,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
John F. Kennedy did not identify himself as a donut. Do you know this
What?
story?
What's a donut? I mean,
Why
obviously I know what a donut
Yeah.
is.
Oh, I know what a donut
identify himself as a donut?
is. Legend has it that because the U.S. president used the indefinite article ein in his famous announcement to Germany, Ich bin ein Berliner, he actually said that he was a donut. That is not true. His sentence was the standard way for a German to identify themselves as someone from Berlin, as was intended. But apparently
Okay.
there's some interpretation that maybe says he was a donut.
Well, I'd never heard that. That got lost behind kind of how
Yeah.
history went,
It was
I think.
Sort of a bigger event.
Yeah.
I don't think we want to talk about things with holes in them and It's not appropriate at all.
Kind of was turned into a donut.
Yeah. Get it, Drew?
Oh, yeah, okay.
There we go. All right. Number 9.
Drew just shook his head.
This list needs to be over. This is one that y'all will appreciate, and I almost wanted to just do this one and then branch out from it. 3 kings did not visit the baby Jesus.
Oh,
We know
listen,
that,
I've been
right?
hearing that my whole life.
Right. One of the most retold stories of all time. This account's not exactly found in the Bible. Very good, right? Instead, it says that kings might visit the baby, and elsewhere 3 gifts are described, leading painters to draw 3 kings with presents.
And there were wise men.
Yeah, that's true.
Does it ever say kings?
I don't think so. But this is referring to kings, so maybe they even messed that up. But the exact number of kings and the belief that their names were Balthazar, Melchior, and Casper is nowhere in the Bible. You heard those names? Those names.
Yeah, I've heard the
those?
names,
Okay.
but I never understood where they
Not
came
in
from.
any of the genealogies, though.
No,
Number
I'm learning
10.
about that.
When earthworms are cut in half, 2 baby earthworms are not born.
Oh, now I have heard that. That's how baby earthworms are made. That's for fishermen not to feel so guilty.
Yeah. Only the front half may survive. The back end dies. Very few kinds of worms are able to do this. All right. 10 misconceptions. Sorry.
I like
No,
the list.
I enjoyed that.
I'll wait at least 2 episodes to do another list.
All right, here we are back with Passages, the podcast about nothing and everything.
I like that.
So
You just came up with that.
I just threw
How
that
do you
off
do
the
that?
hip. Yeah. So our quote for this evening, or to appease one of our listeners, our quotation for the evening, is by Sonia Ricotti, who is an author, and I will admit I've never read any of her books.
Jason, if I mentioned that I'm an author, my new book, Burdens, is available at drewkaiser.com,
And I have
RiddleCreekPublishing.com, and it's on
a lot
Amazon.
of your book. Yeah, Amazon and Riddle Creek Publishing. But the quote tonight really is one that I think is excellent. I've heard it said in other ways and other things I've read before, but this is the quote or quotation. Surrender to what is, let go of what was, have faith in what will be. What do you guys think about that?
Well, to be honest, I could be very accepting of it or critical of it because it's general enough to allow for conversation, which are the kind of quotes we like to deal with. Otherwise, we wouldn't have much to say.
That's right.
I mean, we don't like the mic drops because then our show's over. So
Well, and a little back and forth is always good, too.
yeah. So I guess to start with the critical part, it almost says you shouldn't do anything. I know that's not the intention or the spirit behind it, but if you just take it literally, it's a lot of just wait for whatever's going to happen, almost fatalist. Surrender to what is, let go of what was, have faith in what will be. Now, I'll say that, but biblically, faith is active. So it's about letting go of your past, of things you can't change, which reminds me of the Epictetus quote a little bit, where it's not the events that disturb the minds of men, but the view they take of them. And that's good. That's healthy, not to try to change things you can't change. Have faith in what will be. There's some activity involved in that. There are some decisions to make. There's an attitude, most certainly, that you should have. There are obedient things you should do, corrections you should make.
There's
So
also
as
a
long as you
source-
understand that,
Yeah. I was going to say there's a source where that faith in the future comes from, too.
absolutely.
It can't be ourselves. The source is in trusting God.
Right.
Another version of this that I heard was accept what is, release what was, and trust in what will be. I almost like that one a little bit better, especially the trust in what will be. Because having faith, to some people, I don't think that concept resonates with everybody. But to trust in something means you're trusting in what's coming in the future. And if you're trusting in it, you got to trust in someone, and that someone's God, I think. Something I wrote down in a seminar I was in a couple weeks ago was the past requires us to forgive others, to accept God's forgiveness, and to forgive ourselves. And that's how we surrender or let go of what was, is we forgive others, accept God's forgiveness, and forgive ourselves. And then the other side of that was the future requires trust God and temper expectations. And I thought that was really, really well said. The same speaker that said those two things said expectations are essentially premeditated resentments. So we have to temper our expectations so that later in the future we're not having resentments. And we temper those things, I think, by what's doable, by what's reasonable, and what's within God's will.
My dad and I have this thing we've been saying to each other lately. Several weeks ago, I was telling him that I was hoping for something, and it was very unlikely, my hope was. And he just said, curb your hopes. So now, a lot of times, he'll say something about the future, and I'll just say, curb your hopes. And he'll say the same thing to me.
Just change it a little bit and tell him to temper his expectations.
Temper your expectations. Yeah. That's another good one. But yeah, I mean, most of the time we get really riled up in, what did you call it? Like something about resentment.
I said that expectations are premeditated resentments.
Premeditated. You're setting yourself up for a really bad attitude.
Yeah.
Some really bad stuff.
If you don't temper your expectations by what's possible.
So how do you do that, but also hope for, because we're talking about hope, having faith. I've always liked to think of hope as a forward-looking faith. Mm-hmm. What's the Hebrews 11:1? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Mm-hmm. Hope is it's a type of faith. Mm-hmm. So that last line is about hope. You want your hopes to be better than what is. Mm-hmm. So how do you temper it? I think I know the answer to the question. I'm just wondering.
I think the one word in this that I underlined when I wrote the quote down in my little notebook that I have is the term surrender. I think it's surrendering first to God and stop trying to control everything yourself. Mm-hmm. I wrote this quote down, or it's not a quote, it's just a line out of a book called Living Life Backwards. It says, it was talking about the future. It says, live the life you have now instead of longing for the life you think you will have, but which you actually cannot control at all. Yeah. And I think a lot of tempering expectations and surrendering our future is focusing on the things that are within our grasp. And what can I do right now? What's the next right thing for me to do? How do I live today to serve God? How do I live today to serve others? And why it's important to plan for the future some. You can't put all your hope and expectation in the future because you're not promised tomorrow.
And we don't know what we'll like.
No.
Like the life that you think you want, if God gives it to you, you're still going to be unhappy because the problem isn't the circumstances and what you have. The problem is inside of you, right?
It's the self. It's our desire to be in control. We want to put ourselves in the place of the Creator instead of being in the role of the created. Mm-hmm. I think we're really bad to do that.
You know, the middle part of this that says, let go of what was, this is no eye-opening thing. I'm sure everybody probably thinks of this verse, Philippians 3:13. Mm-hmm. But one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead, I press on toward the goal for the prize of the upward call in Christ Jesus. That let go of what was is a short statement filled with short words, and it's about the biggest thing that we all fight with, right, is can we let go of what was? I mean, we all make mistakes. We all mess up. We all hurt people. You know, life's a series of things behind us, some good, some bad. And can we really let go of what was? If we can, and really can do what that verse says, to say, learn from everything that's in the rearview mirror, but quit looking in the rearview mirror, and press forward and look at, what you can do with the rest of your life going forward. That's enormous.
And Paul uses that term, straining forward to what lies ahead. That's not, just an easygoing, just a breeze, walking easily down the street. That's effort, difficulty, challenging, obstacles in your way as you try to look forward to what will be. And it's the unknown, right, that we're most afraid of.
Yeah. Well,
and that's when we start thinking we've got to get control, because I don't like jumping into a big blank.
That's right. You talking about the straining there reminds me, while I was at this retreat a couple of weekends ago, we hiked up a mountain. I mean, a mountain in Alabama, so it's not huge, but it was 600 or 700 feet change in elevation. And there was a lot of straining in this old man's body. Getting up, the old knees were not feeling great. But as you say that, I think about that example of while we were hiking. If I kept looking behind me, I was going to trip and fall. I had to watch my footing. If I had looked to the top where the overlook was, I'd have probably just turned around and gone back, because it was a lot higher than we were, and it was a lot of steps. But I kept just looking right in front of me, making sure I didn't stumble over the things that were in front of me. And before I knew it, I'm at the top. And if I'd have been looking to where the pinnacle was, I'd have probably been discouraged, because I'm fat, I'm out of shape, and I don't like exercise. But if I kept looking behind me, I was going to trip and fall. But by watching with what I was doing, actively engaged with what was right there around me, I eventually made it to that distant goal. I knew where I was going. I knew how I needed to get there, and all I had to do was watch my steps to make sure I didn't stumble on the way and not be focused behind me, because I'd have never made it.
I think you're adding like a fourth line that goes between let go and have faith, and that is do the next thing that needs to be done.
Yeah.
I guess that's where this kind of falls flat for me, is if I'm giving this advice to somebody who's really going through a hard time and having trouble letting go and having trouble with forgiveness, and I'm saying, hey, better things around the corner, just wait. But biblically, waiting is an active waiting. It's not like, the waiting room in your office, where you're just got nothing to do. Well, you might give somebody a form to fill out or something.
It's pretty boring waiting there.
There's always one thing. Look, when you get really confused, there's always just one right thing that you can find.
Yeah.
Just do that. Don't worry about all the other things you don't know yet. Do that, and when you finish that, there's going to be another step.
Yeah.
And just take that step.
Right. And that's often, it's the right in front of you kind of idea, right? It's like we can all be overwhelmed by the things of life, whether it's, challenges that are too big to bite off at one time, whether it's, obstacles that you're trying to overcome. And this was one of the, I remember when I was like in college, I always struggled with feeling like I could do what was next, right?
Mm-hmm. You mean like with a project or a paper or something?
It was like every semester. It's like I would go into class. And I don't know about y'all. I don't know if this was it just, those peer group that I was in or whatever, but I'd go into a class and it was like everybody knew everything already and I knew nothing. And I'd get intimidated by that. And I'd come home and I'd talk to my mom and I'd be like, I'm not sure I can do this. This was all the way through. And I did well in college. And by the, and so she'd have to talk me down,
You had a
and
little imposter syndrome, right?
Right. So she'd bring me back down to thinking rationally about this, and she'd say, "They're just talking. Deal with what you got to do tomorrow, right? Not with what you got to do at the end of this course, or when the first test comes. Just deal with what you got to do tonight, and it's all gonna be okay, And I think we live our lives a lot of time looking at like just a challenge that we can't face, and it's like when we get overwhelmed like that, if we can take that one step in front of you, take that one step, you can do this. The only way you're going to get to the top of that mountain is taking the next step. And it serves in every aspect of life. It's just, you can't do the whole thing right now.
Well, and when you're lost as to what that next step is, because we've all been in those moments where life has thrown us a major curveball and you're just lost as to where to go.
Right.
If you don't see the next step, then the next step is to hit your knees and pray.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
That should always be your next.
That's
If you're not sure what the next step is, pray. We do not pray enough. I do not pray enough. But God tells us if we pray, He's going to give us some answer. Now, it may not be exactly what we want. Our future may not be what God has intended for us. But so often we get bogged down by the anxiety or the stress or the problems or the temptations or the struggles of the world, and we start trying to figure it out on our own when we don't know what to do, and that's what gets us in trouble. And by slowing down a minute, hitting your knees and praying for things you're thankful for and praying for guidance, praying for people to come into your life to help you, just praying will make all the difference in the world for you.
Yeah. Sometimes you need somebody to pull you up that next step.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we need to do with our friends, is sometimes, just like Jason said, we got to spend time with God, but sometimes you need to look for that person that doesn't know the next place they're going to go, and you got to pull them along, for the journey, because we all need that. Sometimes we're on the pulling in, and sometimes we're on the I don't know what's next end.
I think a lot of times we're wanting out of it immediately, when what the very best thing for us would be for us to sit in those ashes, or sit in that suffering for a little while and work on our white flag.
Yeah.
You can't just surrender overnight.
No.
Nobody's going to read this quote and go, "Oh, that's what I need to do."
Yeah.
And then tomorrow morning, you've conquered all three of these things. Yeah. Sometimes you got to sit there on that pile of ashes in sackcloth and work on your white flag. And you will get it, and you'll learn how to wave it. And that's when you can forgive and let go and start trusting there's a better future ahead. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is far greater than I can think or imagine.
And ultimately, if you're in Christ, you know what your future is, no matter
That's
what.
Right.
Now,
That's no mystery.
That's no mystery.
Right,
You that battle's been won for you. Yeah. And the other thing is, surrender's not something you get right once. It's not something
it's a daily
that
practice,
it is
right?
an every day. It's an every hour kind of thing. If you struggle, take it one day at a time. If you really, really struggle, take it 6 hours at a time. If you are in constant panic because you're out of control, surrender every hour. Reset yourself every hour. I'm going to surrender to God. I'm going to surrender to His will. I'm going to do what's in the best interest of others. And I'm going to take myself out of the equation and work on it until you can get it down to it's an everyday practice to surrender.
That faith in what will be, right? I mean, while it sounds in some ways passive, if we it's going to move us to action, right? If we we were talking about being in Christ, right? Whether the person who wrote this or not was thinking about that, I don't know. But, if you have that faith in what will be, it opens up everything to be easier. Not always simple, but it makes the moves that we make in our lives easier when you have that faith. And ultimately, I know what will be.
Because you're saying that next step is scary sometimes.
That's right.
So if you have that faith, and through prayer and listening to God, you know that next step, it's not scary to take it.
I work with people, and I know that y'all are around people who they get wound up all the time.
Yeah.
I just
came from a basketball game.
Well, I used to get wound up by those
I've
all
heard
the time, and the next one I go to, I'll probably get wound up again. But, but I mean, and I often think about, I told one of my coworkers this week, I said, I had an old buddy named Steve Schmidt that worked in IT, and he's probably still enjoying life with low blood pressure and a full head of hair and enjoying retirement at 75, 80 years old, probably in picture of health. And he would say, hey guys, remember, it's only a phone bill. So we get all, we're just all wound up. We're working 20 hours a day. We're, trying to figure out up from down or whatever. And it's like, guys, this ain't,
let's put this in perspective.
We don't have somebody open on the table here, guys. While this is important and it's our job and we all want excellence, there's a few bigger things than this. We let a lot of things in our life get out of perspective. And
sadly, we don't realize it many times until we look back in hindsight.
Absolutely.
And we think, that was not worth the hissy fit that I pitched.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, you brought up a basketball game, and I went with Jason to the gym a lot during that time. And I would be so mad when Jonathan was playing youth sports. And I'd just be on the treadmill, and maybe he needs to play some more sports, so I'll get back on the treadmill. I don't know.
I think that ship sailed for both of us.
But, I'd be so mad. I can't believe they did so, and it's like, why did I let that work me up so much, And we all know we love our kids, and nobody wants to see, their kid done wrong or whatever. It's like, hey, simmer down, Leighton. Calm down. It's not the end of the world. There's a lot bigger things than this. And that just, it applies to so many walks of our lives that we get wound up about things, and it's like, this is not a big deal. This is not even your next step in the journey. Yeah. This is just stuff going on around it,
It's distractions. It's what it becomes. It's distractions.
Yeah. Well, that was a really good passage. I hope that it's helpful to our listeners. I know it's been helpful to me. And, every time I sit down with you guys, it helps me and encourages me. So that's one of the reasons we selfishly like doing the podcast. If nobody listens, we at least have an excuse to force ourselves into a somewhat deep conversation with a lot of ridiculous banter back and forth as well. Right. So if you like that kind of thing, stay tuned. Subscribe, and if you don't mind, leave us a review. If you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, either way, you can leave us a review and spread the word. I've been looking at the analytics. Our listeners are going up. We have a growing audience, so we are thankful to those of you who listen in every week. Tell a friend. We'd like for more listeners to come on. We're going to keep doing this, so stay tuned, and we will bring you another passage next week.